Good afternoon and welcome to the press conference for Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters. And I'm calling in the right-hand director Michael Dougherty. Big applause. Thomas Middleditch. O'Shea Jackson Jr. Vera Farmiga. Millie Bobby Brown. Thank all of you for being here today. Very excited with this movie that is so cool.
I feel like I'm on Jeopardy.
Because Godzilla is cool. And speaking of Godzilla, I'd like to start asking you, what did you know about Godzilla before? Were you a fan? And I think, Michael, this is why I want to start with you. I believe you were a fan of Godzilla before getting involved, right?
Yeah, I was a fan of Godzilla my entire life. Some of my earliest memories were watching Godzilla movies. And the funny thing is that I grew up in a house, my mother is Vietnamese, and Godzilla movies and Kung Fu movies were the only place where I could see Asian people on TV. So I really latched on to that idea, and I loved sort of the mythic aspect that they had. So he's been with me my entire life.
Do I know Godzilla?
Yes.
My relationship with Godzilla is fairly new. I saw the 2014 film, and I knew of clips here and there from the old movies, but I kind of had to get educated. But I mean, if you're in the dork world as I am, you pick up a fair amount of pieces of big giant monsters.
For sure.
I love Godzilla. I've always loved Godzilla. Had the action figures as a kid. My parents have always been going to Japan and bringing them back for me. I've always been really heavily influenced by Japan, whether it be Dragon Ball Z, Godzilla, of course, Pokemon, till I die. And then, shout out to my PlayStation. So it's always, it's always been a part of my life, and to be a part of a Godzilla film. This one in particular, with the monsters that we bring in, they're usually spaced out with their own individual screen time, but we jam-pack them into, I keep calling it the pay-per-view of monster movies. Like, you have to go see this one. So this one is, it's a beauty I'm glad I could be a part of.
That's the back of, that's the back of the movie.
Back of the movie.
I caught a few of the Godzilla reruns on Saturday afternoons with my brother, but as pertains to my character, I think I grew up in Miami Beach in the 80s, and I love playing with lizards.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's a great answer. No real. I was really quite just introduced to it when I started to first talk with Michael. But that's a pretty great way to be introduced to it because, everybody, got introduced to it when they were much younger. So I'm that young that I can now be introduced to it.
It's the right age.
It's the right age. It's a good way to get out of a question. So yeah, so that's it. So I've just been introduced to it, and yeah, very exciting and a great teacher. Well, I had apparently Jay is a god at it now, but no, Michael was my teacher on all things Godzilla.
Wonderful. Well, we have a first question. Young man over there with the red cap who's receiving the microphone any moment.
Hey, first of all, congratulations on the trailer. I think you stole this year's Comic Con, like for real. I really mean it. It was so impressive. But my question is going to be a little nerdy. I think it's for you, Mike. With Mothra and King Ghidorah, did you I wouldn't say respect, but did you use the Japanese origins of it? Mothra is a goddess, right? Whether Ghidorah is an alien, and if not, why is that?
No, we did. I was very faithful to the original film. So Mothra is portrayed as a goddess in this film. The film opens up with Millie and Vera witnessing one of Mothra's unveilings, trying to be coy and not give things away. But when we first meet her, you see that you meet her in an ancient temple. So that's very much part of her mythology. And then Ghidorah's origins, I'm going to decline answering that question, but we're pretty faithful.
That was a fun scene to film.
Rich.
Yeah.
That scene.
Yeah, that one, I know, right?
The that scene.
You know,
The
that one.
best scene.
Yeah.
Why was it so fun to shoot?
Because like,
Well, now you can't say.
I
know,
can't
yeah.
say anything.
But a little bit of everything. It had a little bit of drama and action.
And
Yeah.
it's some like warmth, and
Yeah.
you actually saw
An
like,
explosion.
yeah, but you
That
also
bear?
saw
Had
like
everything.
oh yeah, like a warmth
Yeah.
from the monster, and it was yeah, very beautiful. Yeah,
It's real warm.
so warm.
Toasty.
Oh, lovely.
Cozy.
Hi, I'm Victoria from Brazil, and my question goes to Millie actually, because you're a young actress coming from Stranger Things, and you're entering a big franchise now with great names from Hollywood. How do you feel about that?
With great
Names from
names. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're right. I was like, wait, great.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, very exciting. I went from Stranger Things to, I basically went from like Fontis water to Fiji water. It's like big difference.
I love it.
When there's Fiji water on a set, you know you made it. Let me tell you. So yeah, so on Stranger Things, it was a lot. You know, like if I lost my socks, it would be like the end of the world. But I could take my socks home and see Godzilla.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Just the little things.
Just the little things that make you the happiest. So yeah, no, definitely big budget. Yeah, it was great and great people to be surrounded with, and yeah, great, all good. But the Fiji water specifically was a big part of my journey.
They didn't let me take my socks home. Anybody wonder?
No, but wasn't the food like outstanding?
Oh,
like,
amazing.
The lobster for lunch.
Amazing. We had lobster for lunch.
Not every day.
Not every day.
but
No.
most day- like, but most days.
When Mike was happy.
Otherwise, you have to rule.
Yeah, we got
Slop.
bread and rice.
Rice was extra.
Hello, I'm from Maria from Cine Premier Mexico. You're working with literally the king of the monster. We have seen Godzilla in many vendors and many things. How do you handle to always giving to the audience something new? And for example, I remember what Millie said a couple of seconds ago. You're a part of this new generation that wants to see or knew more about this monster. If the rest of the people in the table could say to us which one are the movies that you recommend to see for these younger generations that want to know more about the city.
Well, I think I heard everything to the last one.
The last one was, what were some of the older films that we would
That
tell
you would
younger-
recommend to the younger generation.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Right?
up to speed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as what we're doing new and differently, I mean, I have like a deep-rooted passion and love for these creatures, and so I grew up seeing them in a different way. I didn't see them as just big, giant monsters that trash cities. I was obsessed with mythology as a kid too, in the same way that Thomas was obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. Just the concept of the idea that dragons could exist was really fascinating to me. I was always disappointed to find out, for instance, that humans and dinosaurs never actually lived together. That didn't seem right.
There are some museums that you can go see.
Oh, I know, yes.
Welcome to America.
But I much prefer the idea that ancient man and human, and monsters did coexist. And so I thought this was the opportunity to make a movie that did that, that showed that all of our stories about sea monsters and dragons aren't myths, they're facts, they're history. And so this film really plays up that idea, the notion that Mothra was worshipped as a goddess, for example. Kong is worshipped as a god. God is called Godzilla. These aren't just giant monsters, they are ancient gods. So that's something we're doing differently than past ones haven't really latched onto. As far as what movies I would recommend to the next generation, I say go back to the source. I say go back and watch the original black and white Godzilla, watch the original King Kong, watch old Ray Harryhausen movies where they use stop motion to make creatures. If I had kids, I mean, I would show them the
I am.
I wish, but like I would show them old monster movies in the chronological order that they were created.
If I was personally making a highlight film, all the monsters in this film, they all have their own individual, movies against Godzilla, and they all play such an important part in just making up this world. You gotta see Godzilla vs. Mothra, Rodan, the constant battles he has with King Ghidorah. I would suggest anything with Mecha Godzilla, Gigan. I'm a bit of a nerd. Sorry. So I could list them all day, but not so much Space Godzilla. I wasn't really a fan. I wasn't really a fan of Space Godzilla. But definitely all the ones from this film, plus Mecha Godzilla, Gigan, because that was the most bloodiest fight I remember him having, and go Lakers.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Pretty excited.
Michael, you mentioned previously that you're really interested in sort of mythology of these characters, and in the trailer they're referred to as Titans. Obviously that's a direct link to mythology? Are we going to hear about other forms of mythology? Are you going to kind of try and create this, kind of put them all together and kind of, you sound really interested in the mythology aspect of it. I was wondering if you could elaborate more on that.
Well, Titans felt like the appropriate name for them because Titans even came before the gods. They were the first gods. And it seems like if we did discover giant monsters hibernating in the bowels of the earth, that we probably would label them that. It just felt a little bit more interesting and romantic than just some weird scientific classification. Like there's an automatic mystery to that name.
Also, Godzilla versus Destroyer. That's a heavy one. That's a heavy one.
Hi, this is Sebastian from Argentina. In the trailer, we saw Vera telling the creatures are coming back to reclaim the Earth. So, could you expand on the theme of the movie, like a sort of morality play with humans playing God and the consequences of that?
I think the concept of some vengeful force of nature putting humanity in its place is one that we can all relate to because it's one that we're actually probably on the first of experiencing. And Godzilla films have always had some sort of message along those lines. So we're not shying away from that concept either. Godzilla films are morality plays, they just are. So we're just taking that to the next level.
What I'm also going to say, if we talk about your character that you play, how to connect it, I think it'd be really interesting.
Sure. I play Sam Coleman. I'm the communications liaison to Monarch, the agency that controls and monitors, or attempts to control and monitor all the
Really have a Washington.
Yeah. I'm rubbing elbows with everybody in DC.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
I play Chief Warrant Officer Barnes, the senior officer of the military group G-Team. We're assembled by Monarch to kind of wrangle and sometimes take care of the monsters, which isn't always the easiest job as a human with a gun. So it's definitely a challenge, but G-Team is a different type of task force. Usually, the military or the guys who don't really get the importance of the creatures and are just there to just bag them and tag them, bang them up, shoot. But when you're brought here by Monarch, you have a different understanding what they do to the ecosystem, and so it's not all about destroying them. Just sometimes a nice sedation and capture. Doesn't always work.
I play Dr. Emma Russell, who is a scientist for Monarch. She's also a mother. Madison.
What was that?
Jessica. Madison Russell. And as mothers do, they just want to train a child in which they should go to be the best possible version of themselves, and to make sure that they're growing up in a world that is safe. I suppose that's me in a nutshell. My character.
I play Madison Russell, and she's the daughter of a doctor. It's so cool you can say doctor. Like I'm just like I'm Madison, not doctor. I'm not part of a team. I'm not part of any
You're a future
team.
doctor.
Huh?
You're a future doctor.
I'm a really?
You will be.
God,
Future doctor.
that really hits home. Yeah, no, I'm not part of, I don't really smooth things over in Washington, or I'm not part of a team, or I'm not a doctor, but, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a 14-year-old who's trying to have, to try and learn more about these monsters in the best way she can, and she's kind of, she's watching in a different perspective, like, she's not out there, you know, like in their faces, but she's watching from afar. She's been learning about this since a very young age. So when, you know, stuff hits the fan, you know, she has to kind of remember what she's been learning and use that in order to, you know, fight back.
You're fearless.
Yeah.
You go up against a couple creatures single-handed.
I do.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs.
Just a couple.
Michael, can you talk about Zhang Ziyi's character? How do you cast her, and also what's the relationship with her character?
Which characters?
Zhang Ziyi, the Chinese actress Zhang Ziyi's character.
Oh, yeah.
And is it like a more action character or more scientist character?
Interesting choice. Z plays another monarch scientist who specializes in understanding creatures from a mythological perspective. So, and it turns out that she's third generation monarch, that her mother and grandmother also worked for the agency at different times. And she's a bit of a mysterious character, so I'm trying not to say too much. But you discover some pretty important aspects about her.
Adriano, my question is for Vera and Millie. I'm a huge fan of Kyle Chandler, and I would like to.
Same. Friday Night Lights, Coach.
Absolutely. Starting
Oh
from
my god, I love him so much. By the way, I went on the set and got a whole box of Dylan Panthers merch and made him sign everything. Yeah, I was a fangirl and yeah.
Absolutely agree with you. So let's be working with him and developing the family issues and the family drama inside the biggest plot.
How was he as a husband? I mean, I wouldn't know.
Ex-husband.
Oh.
I'm out of here.
Kyle's a love bug. He's just charm on 2 feet with a syrupy sweet accent. And, you know, our time together spent is just befriending each other and pulling pranks on each other. And that's how we got close, and that's how we established, you know, that camaraderie and that warmth and that closeness, the tenderness, the affection. It's just like, you know, I met her and I literally had her in a headlock and started noogie her. And you know, I think we're all very warm and open people, so it was easy for us to become affectionate with one another and establish that dynamic.
I couldn't get past the Friday Night Lights thing. Every time I saw him, I just wanted to talk to him about it. Yeah, no. So I had a good scenes with him where I got to kind of watch him work, which was honestly crazy. Like watching Vera and work at first was like kind of like a dream, because I had been watching her like every movie. Like I would turn on my TV and she'd be like, oh, I'm gonna work with her soon. So I was and then watching, you know, Friday Night Lights and working with Kyle, it was so amazing. And like I think people forget, just because like I'm in the movie doesn't mean that I like still fangirl over actors. Like I seriously was fangirling, and so once I got past the Friday Night Lights thing though, yeah, no, we had a great time. Yeah, so Coach Taylor.
Hi, I'm Jordan from the UK. This is a question for Michael.
To what extent do you want this film to feel like a continuation of Gareth Edwards' Godzilla versus kind of putting your own stamp on the series on the franchise?
It was both ideas were important to me. I really liked Gareth's film, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Gareth's film. Because I thought he really introduced the character in a grounded, realistic way. Like, he loved the character as much as I did. That said, the idea of bringing in the other creatures, because that was the one thing he didn't get to do, was bring in Rodan, Mothra, or they got to create their own new monsters. So it was important to me that we pay tribute to what he had done, and honor that, but also create a film that I believe stands on its own. You know, that you could easily sit down and watch this movie without having seen the other one, and still really enjoy it.
O'Shea.
O'Shea?
Yes. Godzilla versus Small Monster.
I love that one.
Say it again?
Godzilla versus Small Monster.
Oh, well, yeah. If we really want to go at it, what's the other one? Battlelandia? What's the plant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and Batra. That was another gruesome one. Yeah, I'm all for it, man. I appreciate that.
Godzilla versus Smog Monster used to give me nightmares. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too, Michael, about the involvement of Toho in Japan with this film. Was it just a licensing matter, or did they keep an eye on what they were doing with the monster?
No, Toho was very involved. They had final approval on all the creature designs. So I had to go to Japan with the creatures, with the animation, and do a big presentation to the Toho board, which was intimidating. Because, you know, it was me sort of coming back saying, thank you for all the years of Godzilla movies. Here's what I did with your character. I hope you like it. And thankfully they did. They signed off on everything without hesitation. So they've been really helpful, wonderful collaborators.
The mic.
I just wanted to ask what kaiju in this movie favorite and why?
Well, I mean, you outside of Godzilla, because that's the easy.
Yeah, easy answer.
Beyond
G-Man.
Yeah. I mean, I've always had a soft spot for Rodan. Probably because he's always been a bit of an underdog. You know, like no one ever says Rodan when asked that question. You know, it's usually either Godzilla or Mothra. But as a kid, there was a Rodan toy created by Shogun Warriors that I wanted so badly for Christmas. I never got it.
Oh.
And like even
Look
into,
at you now.
Hold on, but even into my adult life, I used to have dreams that I had it, right? So it always felt like this sort of brass ring or this holy grail that I was never able to get. And so the day that we were greenlit, I went on eBay, found one, that specific toy, and yeah, so it felt like completion of a dream. Yeah.
What, the question was, what's our favorite monster other than Godzilla? Oh. Can I answer it then? Cool. Okay. Mothra. Sorry, but just because, well, Mothra's a girl. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying it because she's a girl, but yeah, I'm saying it because she's a girl. I think she's really cool. And also, she has Madison has a really interesting connection to Mothra. From some.
Here goes this fan
I promise, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm really good at this. Kind of. Sometimes. I mean, and then cut to 5 minutes later, I tell you the ending. Yeah, she has a really interesting connection, examples of scenes in the movie. And so, yeah, so she has a really good connection, and it's very interesting just because you'd think that she wouldn't. Madison, you think that she would have mostly a connection with Godzilla, but she doesn't, and there's this one scene in the movie, and it's really heartwarming and nice. It really shines a light on the personality of each character / monster. You're welcome, Michael.
King Ghidorah, for sure. There's nothing like a villain that you love to hate. And there's, when it seems impossible, that's when your hero can really step up. And there's nothing like that three-headed monster. And, to finally see him be modernized and you know, without it just being the guy in the suit. I can't wait to see what Mike has done with them, and I promise it should be the thing of nightmares.
But did you see the shadow of them?
Yeah,
in the
but you
trailer?
know,
That's
it's just gonna give me goosebumps. I need a full-on heart attack.
I agree with Shay. I think not for the maniacal aspects of Ghidorah, but like as a kid, I loved reading about conjoined twins. I did. I loved Ripley's Belief. I loved hearing your personal stories.
Like
and
Chang
that.
and Yang.
Yeah. But also the Lady Monster takes the cake for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a monster that's mainly in the Bug's Eyes named Daryl. He has like a fanny pack and a long ponytail, and he's pretty menacing because he just sort of lurks around your neighborhood, and you're like, why is he there?
I think they're outside.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A bunch of Daryl.
Yeah, he's my favorite and the scariest.
I guess we all can't wait to see the movie now. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Go ahead.